Hello and welcome to Crag Sports Centre here in Edinburgh for tonight's WBBL Championship matchup between the London Lions and your Caledonia Pride. Tonight's stream is brought to you by Stream Scene. I'm Rory Anton and I'm delighted to be joined by Rona Lightbody once again for another showing of Pride basketball. Rona, what will be the keys to tonight's game?
Hi, Rory. I think, London, from what we've seen, they've brought up a slightly depleted squad. So I think, it's going to be a good matchup for both teams. But, they do go to their bench and they get a lot of bench points. I think it's going to be, depending on what Pride go with, it could be quite a fast run and gun game, which I think will suit both teams. And obviously, I'm looking forward to seeing Kennedy Leonard playing. The way she can dish the ball and get her teammates is a thing of beauty to sometimes just to watch. So yeah, that's what I'm really looking forward to tonight, Rory.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, the travelling London Lions bringing up a slightly depleted squad, but nonetheless will give the Pride a good game here. Both sides met recently in London where the Lions ran out 91-59 winners. Kennedy Leonard, as mentioned, had 13 points and 21 assists in that one, and so the Pride defence will be focusing on how they can limit her options to find her teammates open. And for the Pride, Maud Ranger had 19 points in the last outing against the Lions. And then, of course, to be expected, double-double from Shan Phillips, posting 16 points and 10 rebounds. Having chatted with Coach Donnie McDonald ahead of tonight's game, a focus for the Pride will be limiting transition points for London. They had 29 points when the sides last met in fast break, but the Pride managed to limit Manchester recently, Rona, to just 5 points, which we saw a solid effort from them to get back and stop Manchester in transition.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. And I'd sort of caught up with Jenna briefly after the game, and she was saying, they were really pleased with how they played as a team. And I think we noticed that as well, didn't we? Just their team effort, their team hustle was excellent. And I know in the last game against Lions, we feel they didn't give the best account of themselves. And it's like you go on a long journey. I mean, Edinburgh down to London, it's going to take it out of you, even with stopovers and whatever. And they were kind of slow coming out the blocks down there, and against a team of London's calibre, you can't really do that. But it'll be interesting to see if the travel affects London now coming this way, and also if Pride's own baskets, it's their home court this season, can they get those shots in early that maybe just didn't fall for them when they were down south? And hopefully, it's going to be a good game. I think we could have a game on our hands like we had on the Manchester game earlier this week.
Yeah, definitely. I think, as you've seen on social media, a lot of the Pride coaching staff and players off of the back of the last London game just felt they didn't give the best representation of themselves. And so this one here at home in the Crag Centre will give them an opportunity to kind of wipe that slate clean as they look to try and get this win here against London at home. We do have some team news for you ahead of tonight's game. Both teams have submitted their starting five, and so the Lions will start with Gorianova, Lavinier, Breen, Leonard and Umye. And the home team of Caledonia Pride will start with Maud Ranger, Shan Phillips, Ella Docherty, Pollyanna Story and Eva Kerr. And Ella Docherty coming off of a great performance against Manchester recently there. Rona, what have you been impressed with so far with her this season?
I think just the way she sort of found her place back in the team again, like you said, she had a bit of injury and whatever issues, and she's just back to playing how I remember watching her play in previous seasons, very confident on the ball, being a lefty, she's comfortable going at the basket, shooting the three. Yeah, she just seems very self-assured in what she's doing and confident, and that's all you can really ask for out in that position. And then obviously she brings it on the defensive end as well. So again, I'd say the Pride team is full of quiet and unassuming players. They get out there, they get their job done, and they always seem quite humble about it. So no, she's another good player to watch, and hopefully we see her put up some good numbers again tonight.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, quiet and unassuming. That's kind of the motto of Shan Phillips's double-double recently, and she is everywhere on the court. But sometimes you find her quiet in games. But Shan averaging a double-double so far this season and had 12 points and 12 rebounds again on Wednesday. So it'll be interesting to see how she matches up tonight in some of the key matchups for the Pride against this strong London Lions team. And so it'll be interesting. A big turnaround for the London Lions. They ended last season. Obviously, the season ended prematurely due to COVID, but they were 0-16 and now coming into this one 12-2. So a big turnaround from London Lions coming into this season. And one of the starters, a key highlight tonight, Ines Gorianova, just turning 15 recently last week, and she will start for the London Lions here tonight. And so, again, a young team coming and facing Pride, who also boasts some young players within their squad. It'll be interesting how both teams match up, and Pride will be looking to get out in transition and try and push the ball, something they lacked in the second half. At least, you know, Rona, myself and you felt they didn't push the ball as much as we like to see from Pride. Do you think that will be a key focus for them tonight?
I think it will be, but I think, you know, they've also found ways to play through when they aren't able to get the ball out and run. You know, Pride's run and gun offense is, you know, a good few years in the making. So I think, you know, teams, that'll be one of the things they scout on them. But I think what's been really good to see recently is, like you say, they're battling through that even when they can't. You know, they're showing they're more than a one-dimension team, and they're finding open looks maybe on the fast break, so they're holding it up and setting up some really nice half-court plays and getting the open shot. They might not always drop, but, you know, they're getting the good looks, and that's all you can ask for. So I think, yeah, they'll be looking to get out and run because they've got the legs and they're more than capable. But they do have these other strings to their bow to go and utilise as well.
Definitely. And so as the teams get the last few shots up before the start of the action here, we'll take a brief pause and be back with you ahead of the start of the game. And so as the teams take the floor, we'll get ready to get underway here in the WBBL Championship matchup between the travelling London Lions and the your Caledonia Pride. Pride looking to get just their 3rd win of this season, having come off the back of a very close defeat to Manchester Met Mystics, and so will be desperate to get off to a good start in this one. Both teams taking the knee in support of stamping out racism in sport, and so the opening tip, Sham Phillips tips it back, but London have come up with the possession, and so they will look to get us underway here at the Crag Centre in Edinburgh. And kicked out on the far side for the Lions. Dumped inside, and we can't get that one to drop, and so Pride will come down the other end with it. Ella Docherty drives left, can't get that one to go, and Shan Phillips comes up with a rebound, kicks out to Kerr. No good on that attempt, and so London come up with the rebound. Shot up from Umye, can't get it to go, and so there's going to be a foul on the rebound on Maud.
I looked a sore one there, Rory, just the way she's come in on that.
Hopefully everything's okay with Maud there as she looks to get up after that hard knock. Polly bringing the ball up the floor now for the Pride. Dumped inside to Shan. Kicked out to Ella on the near side. Can't get that 3 ball to drop, and it's still 0-0 here after just a minute of action. And a foul by Eva Kerr. And it's going to be a sideline ball.
You could see Kennedy was just like, right, I'm going to try something here. She took it to the hoop herself.
Yeah, Leonard with it now on the far side. Stephanie Ume with it, doesn't like the look on Story, and so kicks out to Goryanova. Shot goes up and in for the Lions, and so they will start the scoring here. Pride will look to answer early with their first basket of the night. Ella finds Pollyanna in the post, and she gets the shot to go over Stephanie Umye.
Really nice entry pass there
Goryanova.
into her.
Yeah, it was a good pass, and Polly using her size well to get the jump shot off in the paint. Lavinier, though, with the answer for the Lions. Eva Kerr with it at the top. Finds Sham Phillips down in the post. Goes to the spin move, can't get it to go, and so Breen comes up with the ball. Finding Leonard, who makes the score underneath the basket. Polly with it for the Pride, finds a cutting Sham Phillips. Good double down by the Lions to cut off the lane for Phillips, and Rangier's off the mark with that jump shot. Leonard pushing the ball in transition and gets it to go with the contest from Pollyanna.
She's just got a really good ability to finish around the hoop, hasn't she?
Yeah, she made that one whilst almost falling and gets it to go, and so the Lions extend their lead to 4 points. Breen finds Leonard in the corner. Leonard off the screen from Umye. Finds Breen, and it's going to be a long 2 attempt. Can't get it to go. Lions coming up with the rebound. Umye with it. Looks to make the save underneath the basket, but steps out of bounds in the process, and it will be Pride basketball.
Key block there by Eva as well, because found the spare person under the basket. She's managed to stop that.
Ella passing it to Rose Harvey, who's checked into the game for the first time tonight. Maud Ranger off the handoff from Story. Sham Phillips driving to the basket, and she'll be fouled, and so she'll go to the line for the first time tonight.
Doing really well at identifying those mismatches in there and attacking at them, which is really good, smart basketball. They've got limited bench players, so they want to try and attack at the lines and see if they can draw some fouls.
Sham misses the first of the two. I think we've got a slight error with players on the floor. I'm seeing number 24, Fatima Jinneh for London, who's not appearing on live stats. So some confusion in venue, but it'll be a brief pause and we'll look to get things underway. And Sham Phillips goes 0 for 2 from the line, unlike her tonight. And so London bring the ball up. Leonard guarded by Rose Harvey, and that's going to be a blocking foul called on Rose. Leonard guarded by Phillips now on the far side. Swung to Gorianova. Finds Breen in the corner. Breen puts up the 3 with the shot clock winding down and gets that one to go.
Nice shot. Nice shot. Hand in her face as well.
Pollyanna Story going to work inside and gets that one to go. Polly jumps out to 4 points early here for the Pride. Leonard finds Gorianova. Goes between the legs and to the left in the lane. Gets the layup to fall. Sham Phillips down low. Looks to have a quick answer but can't get soft touch around the rim, and so London come up with the rebound. Leonard with it. Finds Breen, who just hit that big 3 with the shot clock winding down. Screens for Leonard. And a 3 from virtually the same spot. Can't get it to go this time. And so Sham Phillips with the rebound for the Pride. Maud Ranger in the corner. Can't get the 3 to go, but Rose Harvey picks up the long rebound, and turnover there by Story as she looks to go to the basket, and Leonard comes the other way with it. Good contest from Ella Docherty underneath. Ranger brings the ball up the floor for the Pride now. Finds Harvey in the corner, puts it up, can't get that one to go. And so Leonard slows the ball game down here for the Lions. Leonard into Umye. Finds Breen off the cut at the high post and gets that jumper to fall, and so it will be a timeout called by the Pride.
I think we'd say, Rory, Pride have made a good start. I think they're doing good work. They're getting back in the defensive end. You can see that, even Kennedy scored a couple over the top of them, but you're there, you've got your hands up, at least you're not causing a foul, and I'm one. And I think then their offensive end, they're identifying when to put the ball in, and they're having some really nice cuts in and around the basket. It's just potentially a little bit unfortunate with them not dropping at the moment. But, I think obviously called a timeout, got some stuff to talk about, but, Lions have hit some really nice shots with the shot clock winding down, and sometimes that's just a confidence thing of, where they sit in the league. They've had to do that and pull it out. So I think a good start. Hopefully keep going this way.
Yeah, definitely. As we mentioned at the top of this one, the fast break points and limiting London in transition were going to be a key to Pride's game plan, and so far only 2 points on the fast break for the Lions, and so they will continue to try and stop the ball in transition. But interestingly enough, 10 of 15 points for the Lions have come in the post. And so a switch of focus will be trying to take them out of that. And as Rona mentioned, they've hit some big shots with the shot clock winding down. Ella Docherty brings the ball over the timeline for the Pride. Gets it back from Rose Harvey and finishes underneath. Cuts this London lead down to 7 with just under 4 minutes to play. Leonard with it off of the Horns action, and it's going to be a offensive foul on the illegal screen from Janae. And so Pride basketball.
I always think that must be one of the least enjoyable things to see is someone marking a point guard as that horn set up when you know you're going to get rattled either way.
Yeah, and Ella with it now looks to feed Pollyanna in the high post, but London come up with the ball and coming back the other way now. And so the turnover from Kuzmanovic, and Pride will have the ball. Ella Docherty brings it up the floor again for the Pride. Pollyanna kicks to Docherty. Rose Harvey on the wing and gets that one to fall. I believe it's going to be a long 2. And so the lead cut down to 4 for the Lions. Breen with it on this far side, off balance, and she was fouled. So she'll go to the line for 2.
Such a capable shooter, Breen. You see her in games, she knocks down 3 after 3, and then she's shown her mid-range game today as well.
And so Breen gets 2 of 2 to go, and Lions now lead by 6. Sham Phillips with it for Pride, sets a screen for Docherty, finds Pollyanna underneath. Pollyanna Story having a great game here early for the Pride. Leonard off the screen from Janae this time, off the horn set, and gets to the basket for the easy 2. Back inside to Pollyanna. Kick back out to Docherty, driving left. Can't get that one to go, and so it's out of bounds, London ball. Leonard brings it up once again for London. Into Janae. Double down screen for Breen, but Can't get the open look. Janae drives left-handed, gets that one to go in traffic. Good look from the forward for the Lions. Rose Harvey looks to drive, but it's picked away, and an easy basket in transition for London. And so the lead is now at 10 for the Travelling Lions. Elise Tweedy with it. Kicks to Harvey. Harvey off of the high ball screen, gets that 3 to drop, and that was a
Lovely
big one
shot
there for Rose Harvey.
We've seen that she can catch fire, so first quarter got a few going.
Janae with it on this near side, finds Leonard. Leonard into Umier in the post, but good defense from Ella Docherty, and so Pride come up with the ball now.
Denied.
Maud Ranger puts up the shot. Can't get that one to fall. It looked good, but just runs out, and London will come up with the rebound now. Leonard kicks out to Kuzmanovic with the miss, and Maud Ranger with the clock winding down will put up a half-court shot, and no good. And so at the end of the first quarter, the London Lions lead Caledonia Pride 23-16 in this one. We'll take a short break with thanks to our sponsors and be back ahead of second quarter action. Looking at the stat sheet here early, Rose Harvey already with 6 points, and Pollyanna Story with 6, and for the London Lions, already 5 players on the score sheet early, and so Pride will continue to try and get the ball inside to Pollyanna Story, you would think, here, Rona.
Yeah, I think it's working well for them, and also Shan on those flash cuts. But then, like you say, Rose is already on 6 points. She's come off the bench. Bench points are critical, because you can't run with your 5 the entire game. So that's going to have a great impact.
Definitely, and a foul called there as Shan Phillips was driving into the paint on the floor, and so Pride have the ball now inside with Elise Tweedy. Can't get the turnaround to go. London with it in the far corner. Umier goes up, and she gets
Nice
that
elevation.
one to go. Yeah, Jenna Beattie with some good straight up defense, but as you mentioned, the elevation there from Umier gets the shot to fall. Ranger with it in the corner, gets that 3 ball to go. And so it's going to be a over and back called on Goryanova, and so Pride will have the ball.
Good hustle D there from Rose. You know, she was aware of the court lines and where the player was and just kept that pressure on her. Nothing easy.
And so Lavenir checks back into the game for the Lions. Taryn Cummins checking in for Pride. Rose with it. Taryn Cummins coming off of the flare screen from BT. In the high post with Tweedy kick to Cummins. Modron J drives into the paint, puts up a floater, can't get it to go, and so London come down with it. And that pass across the paint picked off by Jenna Beattie, and Modron J pushing the ball up the floor for the Pride now. Taryn Cummins goes to her left, finds Elise Tweedy in the post, and a great
lovely
pass into Jenna Beattie, cut into the basket. Just stripped away at the last second by that Lions defense, and Leonard with a slight hesitation gets the defense on the miscommunication, and so the Lions extend their lead to 8 points here in the second quarter.
That hesitation step can be so effective.
Modron J went between the legs and looked to drive, and so Goryanova called on the hand check.
Usually, you know, it's a Pride player who's the youngest on the floor, but potentially I think it'll be Goryanova that's the youngest player on the floor today. So that's something different.
Ball swung out to Rose Harvey in the corner, and she's fouled going to the basket, and so she'll go to the line to shoot two.
She's on it today. She's come off the bench, great impact.
Yeah, Rose, a tremendous three-point shooter, managed to get her defender out of their stance there and get to the basket. And misses both, and so free throw line not the Pride's friend here early in this one, as Leonard with it on the far side, driving on Phillips, dumped down into the post, but the shot's picked off by Pride.
Just a blip in the matrix.
Fouled on the drive. Yeah. Sham Phillips fouled on the drive, and so we'll go to the free throw line with an opportunity to score. And
it's okay, our tech guy's on it, Rory.
Lions lead by 5. Leonard with it, looks to go up and under, can't make it, and kicked out to Breen, who makes the long two.
I think Shannon Phillips almost ended up in her short.
Polly looks to put that shot up, but it is off, and so London will have the ball now. Goryanova brings the ball over the halfway line for the visiting Lions. Leonard with it, guarded closely by Phillips. They look to clear out into isolation, find Breen on the far side. And fouled on the shot by Jenna Beattie.
She'd done so well the previous time, you know, of getting in the way and intercepting the ball or getting a finger to it to to tip it. So unfortunate on that one.
And Breen makes 2 of 2 from the line. BT driving, finds Pollyanna Story underneath the basket. Sham Phillips with a tip on the inbound, looks to put some of that Pride pressure on here. Phillips guarding Leonard, who's been phenomenal for the Lions this year. Kicked out, the three's put up by Lavinier, and a foul on the rebound on Jenna Beattie. Leonard inbound to Breen. Handoff back to Leonard as she receives a screen from Umye. Good defense from Pollyanna Story, forcing her out of the paint, and ball's forced up by the Lions, and Pride come down with it on the other end, but now Jones with it, finds Leonard in the open floor for the easy 2. Ella Docherty with it,
just a bit vulnerable.
Left.
Nice finish.
Good finish from Ella, and hopefully that'll settle the Pride ever so slightly here. Jenna Beattie with good on-ball defense, forces the player into her help, but she's going to be called on the foul. So it'll be end-line Lions ball. Jenna Beattie picking up a couple of fouls here early. Leonard finds Umye driving right at Story, and it's going to be a foul. Blocking foul called on Pollyanna.
I think they just need to, reset a little bit. They've given away quite a few fouls consecutively. Just chucked in 1 or 2 subs, so maybe they'll settle themselves again.
Umye extends the lead for the Lions out to 9 with just over 5 minutes to play in the second quarter. Ella Docherty finds Eva Kerr, who drives, gets her own miss off the glass, and finds Maud Rongier open for a jumper, who's fouled in the act of shooting, and so she will go to the line.
Yeah, nice chase down on that board and then dishing it back out to recycle the ball, but actually just going for the shot because she was open. First one was good.
Maud makes 2 of 2, and so cuts this Lions lead back down to 7. Umye found underneath by Leonard, and she makes the layup. An immediate answer for Pride. Eva Kerr looking to go into Pollyanna Story, but just deflected. And it's going to be a jump ball. Jump ball, and possession's going to stay with the Lions.
I think things are just a little bit tense at the moment on the court.
Breen inbounds to Leonard. Bring the ball up once again for the Lions. Handoff from Breen. Leonard guarded closely by Phillips and looks to draw the foul. And it's going to be 2 shots for Kennedy Leonard. But a timeout called on the floor by Coach Donny McDonald, and so Pride will talk things over with just under 4.5 minutes left in the first half.
What do you think he's going to be saying to his players, Rory?
Yeah, I think, as you mentioned, things were getting a little bit chippy there, so just trying to settle them. A couple of fouls called, so just kind of reminding them to try and stay in front. I think a lot of them were fouls that could have been helped, and staying in front instead of trying to make last-ditch kind of reaches to make a play. And so really just focusing on the defensive end, try and limit those foul counts here in the first half. And then in offense, some turnovers that have led to points in transition. And so trying to make the easy pass and not force or overcomplicate the offense. See if they can get some good looks leading into halftime.
Seems like you were spot on. You even took the exact same amount of time as him to say it. He'll know who to call if he can't make a game.
And so Leonard makes her first. And second, and so the Lions have a double-digit lead here in the first half. Ella Docherty driving and in traffic makes that one.
Down that left-hand side, she's pretty unstoppable.
Yeah. And a foul in the backcourt on Shan Phillips on the reach. And so with the Pride in the penalty, it will be 2 shots for the Lions.
I think we might see that for the remaining 4 minutes. The referees will just call it pretty tight to keep things just under control, and so that neither side feels like they're being more hard done by than the other. Might make for a bit more of a stop-starty game, but hopefully it'll mean it'll settle for half.
Pride with it now, and a chance to cut this lead down to single digits once again. The entry pass into Phillips, and as you called it, Rona, another foul here.
It's just a bit of bumping on both sides, but yeah, he's obviously, because she's sitting in behind her, that's where they're going to call that. Hard to defend the post from behind without being called.
Phillips makes the first, but the second just spins out. Leonard guarded by Docherty now. Handoff from Breen. Umye on the
Lovely
roll.
find.
Yeah, great find from Leonard as Umye makes the layup for the Lions. Shan Phillips can't get that one to go, chases her own rebound, but London coming up with it, and Leonard in the fast break can't get that one to go, and it's tipped out of bounds by the Lions. Shan Phillips inbounds to Ella Docherty. Balls with Sophie Loughran on the far side, who's checked in for the first time tonight. Inside Phillips now. Kicked out to Ranger in the corner and makes the jumper. Breen with the skip pass to Umye. Into Janae, and driving, can't get that one to go, and Pollyanna manages to get that rebound under control now. Shan Phillips driving to the hoop, and an easy look for Shan Phillips, and so it will be timeout to the Lions. Pride managing to cut that lead back down to 8 with just under 3 minutes of play left here in the half.
Yeah, I think whatever coach has said last time around, it's obviously working for Pride. They've come out a bit more settled, getting to the hoop, getting some nice looks. It's just now about getting the stops at the other end of the court, and then conversely, Lions sticking mostly to their game plan. Kennedy's getting to the basket, she's finishing, she's finding her teammates. Very effective, what you need from your point guard. She's really, leading that team.
Yeah, definitely a lot of dribble handoffs and high ball screens from the Lions early, and they're really just looking to move the defense and looking for that miscommunication. And when you have a point guard in Kennedy Leonard that sees the floor so well, she can make that killer pass to find an open teammate, and she's been doing that so effectively this season.
There's a reason she was finals MVP, wasn't there?
Yeah, and so we'll see a bit of Pride pressure, as Rona likes to call it, here in the end of the second quarter. Leonard with it, looks to hand off with Janae, and ball swung now to Omar Jones, puts up the three but no good. Rongier with the rebound, finds Story in the open floor, looks to get the up and under but cannot finish. Good ball movement from the Lions as Janae drives into the post, kicks out to Breen, and Breen can't get that layup to fall, and so Shan Phillips with the rebound for Pride.
Nice dish.
Rongier, who's hit a few from this side and gets that three to go. Leonard with it. Phillips goes for the steal and out the horn set. Leonard now guarded by Doherty. The ball swung to Janae, who can't get that three-pointer to go, but Lions come up with their own rebound. Leonard with it on the far side. Looks to go into the post, and Umye with the 2-point conversion, and so Lions with a 7-point lead and just a minute 20 left in this one. Phillips kicks to Rongier, who just hit one from there. Can't get that one to go. Maud, who's opened up with 10 points here in the first half for Pride, and Leonard with the long two for the Lions. And so less than a minute left. Rongier with it. Finds Story, who finds the cutting Shan Phillips in the post, and she's fouled, so she'll go to the line.
Yeah, that front cut there, it's been super effective, especially for Shan today. And they're finding her on it, which is great. Neither team particularly tall after what we saw with the Mystics when they had some, 6-foot+ girls. Always makes one under the hoops a little less intimidating.
Ochran comes up with the rebound on the miss from Phillips, and Rongier driving to the hoop. Can't get that one to go, but she's fouled, and so back to the line the Pride will go. Maud makes the first. And 2 for 2 for Maud Rongier. She goes 100% from the free throw line tonight. Timeout for London, and they'll look to draw something up ahead of halftime.
It's got to be some sort of up the top, give and go off the pick, isn't it? That's what you assume is going to come out of it, with either finishing maybe Kennedy at the basket or knowing her she'll find somebody to give the assist to.
Yeah, they do a great job of hitting the roller when they're open. And no doubt they'll be looking to draw something up here, try and extend that lead out from 6 with just 42 seconds left, or 41.8 to be exact. And so the 5 on the floor to finish the first half for the Pride: Maud Rongier, Sophie Loughran, Sian Phillips, Ella Docherty, and Pollyanna Story. Gorianova inbounds to Leonard. Breen coming off of the high ball screen. Off balance shot, can't get that one to go. But the putback for the Lions, and so Umier was fouled on the way up and will go to the line for 2.
Interestingly, 4 of the Lions starting 5 are all sitting on 2 fouls, which isn't horrific, but it's something they're going to have to be mindful of.
Umier can't make the first. But makes the second. Sian Phillips pushes the ball up the floor for the Pride, finds Maud Rongier in the corner. Long rebound, and Umier comes up with it for the Lions. Breen, quick glance at the clock and opts to slow it down, and they'll look to take the last shot of the first half. Gorianova with it, guarded by Loughran. And a shot heaved up at the buzzer by Kuzmanovic, and so no good. And we'll go into the half. London Lions lead the Caledonia Pride 48-41. Like to give a quick thanks to our sponsor, and then we'll be back with you for the halftime show.
So,
I
Rory, how
believe,
you
Rona,
feeling
you
today?
have some questions for me again. Am I back in the hot seat?
You are indeed. It was so well received the last time, Rory's rules, and I mean by well received, I mean not one person complained. So nobody said it was great either, but I'll take that as a win. So Rory's rules is back, and I've got a few things to find out if you're calling out of the referees during commentating is totally warranted, or if you need to go to some sort of FIBA seminar. So first up, one of the things doesn't happen so much at this level, but it does still happen. What is a travel?
Wow. Okay. So essentially, when a player is, I'm going to say traveling with the ball. I'm sure as a teacher you'll give me in trouble for using the word in the explanation. But if you look to move with the ball, you have to dribble it. If you pick the ball up, you're allowed 2 steps before you essentially need to give up possession or put a shot up. There is a couple of exceptions to that rule, obviously, with the gather step, which I'm sure some of my players will pick me up on, but that's the basics of it. Is you're allowed 2 steps once you pick up the ball.
Great. What about double dribble?
Yeah,
What is
so
a double
essentially,
dribble? There's kind of 2 main ways.
Yeah. So essentially, when you have the ball and you're dribbling it and you're moving with it, as soon as you pick it up, you then can't dribble the ball again, or that's deemed double dribble, which is quite an obvious kind of from the term itself. You can't dribble it twice once you've picked up possession. And essentially that's why you'll see a lot of the time once a player does pick up their dribble that defenders will try and guard them really closely to try and limit their options for giving the ball up or finding their teammates.
Great. And can you just sort of firm up what is an out of bounds? Because out of bounds can be so many different things in different sports, like whether it's your feet, the ball, etc. So what is an out of bounds when the referee blows for it in basketball?
Yeah, so essentially, unlike football or rugby, the ball for the ball to be deemed out of bounds, someone either has to be touching the line or over the out of bounds line and out of the court, and the ball has to have contact with that. And so that's why you see in basketball a lot of the times players will jump off the end line, try and catch the ball and throw it back in. Because if they're in the air and they catch the ball and throw it back in before they land out of bounds, the ball was never out of bounds in the first place, and so they might have saved their team a possession. And so the same goes for if the player is holding the ball and their big toe is on the out of bounds line, then it's going to be out of bounds to the other team.
I feel like you targeted big toes across the country there. I think you should say all toes if they go out the
All
line,
toes.
not just your big toe.
Apologies.
Just don't want them to feel singled out there. What about jump balls now? When I started playing back in the dark ages, jump balls happened a lot. Whereas they've sped up the game, they've changed the rules. So what is the, I would say new rule, but so many players now, that's the only rule they've ever known for jump balls. So what is the deal with jump ball now?
Yeah, so traditionally, or back in the days, as you're mentioning, the jump ball rule was essentially when 2 players had a hand on the ball and the possession was tied up. We refer to it now as the possession arrow, and so whoever last had the ball, the possession arrow will be facing the other way and will give the other team possession. But traditionally, and sometimes you still see it in the NBA, is you'll go to the nearest circle and the 2 players who had possession of the ball would then essentially jump like we see at opening tip to regain possession.
Yeah, and I think that was one of the reasons they changed it, wasn't it? Because sometimes someone of my height could be up against, especially at 16s and 18s, someone who's like 5'2". And I'm not saying they've not got hops, but they've hustled as hard for the ball. So that was to try and speed it up a bit as well, I guess. And there's still quite a lot of courts that actually show the old markings, don't they, where there's actually 3 circles on the court, whereas there should only be 1 circle on the court. One other question. What other rules, what other court lines have changed in recent times, and by that I mean like the past, what, 5, 10 years, I think. There's one other key one that there's one other major one I'm thinking of.
One major one. Is it the charge circle? Is that what you're thinking of?
No, that's not no. There's something, and I kind of gave it away with my terminology I used. You clearly weren't listening to me, Rory.
Apologies. Is it the key?
Yes, it is. What did they change with that?
So originally the key was like 2 diagonals. So it actually, now it's just a box. Whereas before it was 2 diagonals with a circle at the top, and obviously the free throw going through. But now it's a half circle with a box, and obviously at the top of that is where players shoot their free throws.
Excellent. And just as a Brucey bonus, why did they change it from diagonals to straight lines?
Wow, that's stumped me. But I'm gonna say, is it so that 3 in the key was easier to call, maybe?
I think that is one you should go away, check on Google, and come back with the answer next week. Homework. That is what we need. In the Easter holidays, everybody needs a little bit of extra homework. It'll take you away from your Just Dance routine, but, a little bit of extra basketball knowledge won't kill you. Okay, and as much as the success was of Rory's rules, which you've passed today, so very well done. You can call out the referees for another game. We're going to go back to some of the fun player facts. So I don't think we'll ever top over 150 rubber ducks. I mean, I genuinely don't think we can ever top that fact. But I do have a couple of others. So first one.
Also, if no one has seen the actual rubber duck collection, it is on Pride's social media. We've got to give a shout out to the
put it up on the social
collection.
Media. Good.
Yeah, that was what we all wanted to see. So.
Yeah, and I mean, I loved how it was categorized as well, and there's different types of rubber ducks as well, which I was like, wow, who knew that many colors and that many different types of rubber ducks existed? But anyway, it looks like you've got a few in the background there, Rory. You've started your own secret collection. So, anyway, to get back to point, who in the team has had both of their COVID jabs?
Jenna Beattie.
She does indeed. What brought you to that conclusion?
Because Jenna is a dentist and so is a key worker. So that was my logic behind that one.
Yep, so she will be able to go on the cruise ships, and she'll be down the pub with all her grands and grandpas, because she has managed to get both COVID jabs. And yeah, actually, big shout out to her. She was working till 5 today, but still managed to have herself warmed up and ready to go on court for 6 o'clock tonight. So I take my hat off to her, because that's no easy feat. And I don't know actually if I want to broadcast this one, but I'll put it out there. Who in the team doesn't have a Scotland cap, so could actually defect and play for England?
Oh wow!
Although they do have GB caps. I know. I don't know if I wanted to share this. Hopefully, no coaches are listening. But yeah, who doesn't have any official Scotland cap, so could still defect to England, but she does have some GB caps.
I'm guessing it's one of the younger players because of the recent switch to GB basketball, but has a GB cap. I'm gonna throw it out there and say Ella Docherty.
Incorrect. You get one other.
Polly?
Guess. Correct. Yep, so Polly, she has represented Scotland on several occasions, but they've never, because of how, like you say, the youth setup has changed, they've never been official caps. And I'm not 100% sure where the English, if she was born down there, or if she has an English parent, but she could defect, but I'm sure she never would. So yeah, I thought I was really quite interested in it. And just when we're mentioning Polly, she actually saw some social media stuff she'd done today. So if you go onto Basketball Scotland, she's on there, and she's working with the junior NBA, and she's putting together some skills and drills for younger players, or any player, I would assume, really could go on, have a look at, and see if you can upskill yourself and see if you can transfer those skills back onto the court. So I would highly recommend you check that out on the Basketball Scotland media pages. And yeah, see what's going on over there. So I think you have managed to pass your facts for today and your rules for today. So I think you can let out a sigh of relief and get ready to enjoy the second half of the game.
And while we're on the Scottish-English connection, got a fun fact for you. Kennedy Leonard's mum's actually from Dundee. There's one
What?
for you.
Is she? I
Yep,
knew she must
that's.
have learned to pass that well because she was Scottish.
Thought you were going to make a comment about Dundee, but I'm glad you avoided that.
I mean, Urwillie? No, Urwillie's not from Dundee, is he? It's Dennis Menace. Is he Dundee?
Both, but yeah.
Oh, both of them are from there. Oh, well, there we go then.
Yeah.
See, I know
Yeah,
my stuff.
so
But
another.
tenuous link, I think. Rory, stop holding on to just all these Dundee facts. Although it is coming through that actually her mum isn't from Dundee, so maybe, Rory, you should just stop making up things about Dundee.
My sources tell me otherwise. We'll have to fact check that one, but
you can bring that back with your reasoning as to why the keys change next week. I am sure that people will be on the edge of their seats.
Yeah. And
probably
so
just sent Twitter into meltdown.
I'm sure it'll be trending. Rory's rules. And so with just over a minute before the teams make it back onto the floor, and of course Caledonia Pride, who trail in this one by just 7 points. Modrange with 12 points early in this one. And interestingly enough, another great performance from Ella Docherty with 8 points and 4 assists. And no surprises, the leading scorer here for the Lions is Kennedy Leonard. And Lions with 3 players currently in double digits ahead of the second half of action.
I think, although it's ended +7 to Lions at the end of the first half, it was also +7 to Lions at the end of the first quarter, so Pride have stayed with them. I know that you can't have draws in basketball, but if you're looking at quarter by quarter scores, so it'll be interesting to see how this one goes.
Definitely. And maybe you can tell us next week why you don't get draws in basketball. Rona, there's your homework. And so
I make the questions, not answer them.
Off and running in the second half, and the Lions on the scoreboard early here in this one. Ella Docherty with it, sees a ball screen from Story. Ranger, shot clock at 6, can't get the jumper to go, and so London will come up with it and come the other way. Kennedy Leonard kicks out to Gorianova with the crossover on Ranger and gets the lay-in. Good move from the young guard. Yeah. Shan Phillips once again with the ball screen from Story. Good step through from Shan. Manages to find Ella Docherty at the top of the key, and Ella driving left gets that one to go again.
Yeah, she's so comfortable finishing our left hand.
And Ella Docherty just going to be called on the blocking foul there.
I think she got away with the first one, and then she went on the second and got blown up for it.
Leonard with it. Looking to take the double screen at the top, but opts to kick it out to Breen. Breen with a deep 3, can't get that one to go, and so Story comes up with the rebound for the Pride. Finds Shan Phillips out in front, can't get it to go, but looks to get her own rebound and picked off by the Lions. Leonard kicks to Breen. Breen finds Lavinier underneath the basket, and she converts.
London are so good at that extra pass. Good unselfish basketball.
Sham Phillips backing down, but picked off in the post from Leonard. And Lions come the other way. And a great block from Ella Docherty in transition.
Ready to hustle back.
Goranova swings to Leonard, and Breen off of the down screen. Curling that one, can't get the jump shot to go. Polly with it now, kicks out to Rongier. Jenna Beattie sets the ball screen for Rongier, driving left. Kicks to Phillips. Jenna with a great pass to find Maud, open for the three. Maud Rongier's had a great night of shooting here. Lavinier with it. Looks to put up three of her own, but can't get it to go, and so Pride come up with the rebound. Ella Docherty slows it down for the Pride. Sham Phillips kicks to Docherty. Maud Rongier off of the three, and she's fouled, and so she'll go to the line for three.
Yep, she's just come out there and closed her down too hard.
Yeah, you can't really blame her though. Maud having a great night from behind the arc. She's gone 3 for 7 already in this one.
She's knocking them down.
Yeah, continues our perfect night from the line. And so the lead back down to 5 as the Pride look to get their third win of this season. Breen puts up the three ball, can't get it to go. Lavinier brings down the rebound for the Lions. Finds Breen on the cut, and she ends up on the floor with it, but the ball stays with the Lions. Good pressure from Jenna Beattie in the corner on Lavinier, and it's going to be Pride basketball.
Pride have really upped the intensity here. They're taking care of the ball.
Yeah, definitely, as Ella Docherty dishes off to Story, but Story with the step through, and it's going to be called on as an offensive foul. She just extended that elbow ever so slightly.
Yeah, you just have to be careful when you're at the top like that, because you're quite exposed, you know, for the referees watching.
Yeah, and Cammy McClay with a close eye on that one, calls the offensive foul on Pollyanna. Leonard with it now. Finds cutting Breen. Breen with the jump shot. Breen's put up the last 3 possessions, has put up shots for the Lions. Can't get it to go. Ella Docherty with it now on the far side for the Pride. Story with it, dribbles across the top, finds Sham Phillips on the dribble handoff. Phillips almost lost the handle, but recovers, and a great cut from Phillips and dish from Story. Phillips just found her defender sleeping ever so slightly and manages to get back door.
Just like that, it's a 3-point ball game.
Yeah, close one once again. We're used to these by now, Rona.
I know. Sweaty palms every game. I think it's actually easier sometimes when you're on the court.
Ella Docherty with the ball for the Pride now. Pass is just picked off from Leonard. Just too shallow an angle on that pass, and so the Lions get out and manage to convert. Foul on Janae as Ella Doherty looked to bring the ball up.
They're racking up the fouls in the third quarter, second half.
And Phillips with the rebound looks to put back and gets it to go. Leonard drives, looks to convert, and I think it's going to be Sham Phillips called on the foul. Leonard makes her first.
Referee's just going to have a quick confab. I think it's worth pointing out, Rory, I think you see, you can tell hairdressers have opened up this week in Scotland. A few new dudes out there.
Who are you noticing with the fresh cut today?
I definitely think the referees. Or maybe, you know, they've just had somebody to do it for them.
Sham Phillips fouled on that one, and she'll go to the line.
I think London coach is looking for an explanation on that one. I also think Coach Donny, he's had his haircut looking fresh.
Wow. Surely appreciate that shout out from you, Rona. I'm not saying anything.
You told me to say
Sham
it, Rory.
Phillips at the line. For those that don't know, Donny did lecture me in my time at university, and so I definitely did not say that. Good pass from Breen inside. She finds Umye underneath the basket. Fading away, can't get that one to go. That's one who old coach Donna Finney wouldn't be happy with, the fading away underneath the basket. It's a pet hate of hers. As Ella Doherty drives to the hoop, gets that one to go. Kennedy Leonard drives up the court, can't get it to go. And foul called. Coach Donnie McDonald called on a technical, I believe.
Technical. Yep. I think again, you know, things just bubbling a little bit.
Yeah, a tight game, a close game, and a little bit of frustration there on that call. And so Lions will shoot the technical. It's a chance to go 3 points ahead with just over 4 minutes of play here in the third quarter. And as always, just to bring you an update from the other game going on tonight, Leicester Riders, who are currently leading Durham 63-30. Leicester, who currently sit at the top of the table ahead of the London Lions, and so they'll be watching this game closely ahead of playoffs at the end of the season.
I think a good timely time out there. It lets both sides, settle themselves. Coaches, they want to catch the ref, do that, and just reset. It's a good game of basketball.
Yeah, definitely. And I think from the conversation over there with Donny and the referee, I think it was actually the reaction from the bench that warranted the technical.
Mm-hmm.
Looking down towards the end of his bench.
I think that's one of the things with the bench being so spread because of rules and stuff this year, that it can seem even bigger, the reaction, if that makes sense. Whereas usually, you're down one side of the hall, whereas now you're sort of more placed around the hall.
Yeah, and obviously closer on a traditional bench, players
Mm-hmm.
can kind of hold each other back, but not,
Yep.
as you mentioned, when the bench is so spread out like that. Modron J with a great jump shot cuts the lead down to 1. Early in the shot clock, she got that jump shot to go, and so Maud will extend her points tonight to 20. A great night of shooting from Maud. Ella Docherty with an early jump shot herself, but tipped
Lovely follow
off
up.
the rebound from Sham Phillips and follows with the putback. And so Pride will have their first lead of this game in the third quarter. Something that we've said in recent weeks, Manchester got it down to 5, but never managed to get out in front. So that'll be a big confidence boost for the Pride today.
Yeah, game's there for the taking by both sides at the moment. And we've talked about this a lot, Rory, haven't we? It's who's going to step up, who's going to hit those clutch shots. I can see Maud's feeling it. I know Rose will happily step up. Ella, great work there chasing it down. Shan, you're not sure where it's going to come from. And equally, Breen, Leonard, Ume, they're all having good games as well.
Breen makes 2 of 2, and so she'll move to 15 points for the night. Ella Docherty with a great move, gets to the basket.
Response. She just seems unstoppable down on that left-hand side.
Yeah, the guard for the Pride obviously committed to Toledo in the NCAA Division 1. So a block there underneath the basket as Pride look to get a stop here. Shot clock at 9. Just looking to stay disciplined, try and force a contested jump shot, which they do. And a technical foul on Breen. She thought she was fouled on the jump shot, and so technical foul for her reaction.
Is that her second or third tee of the game? Is that her third tee overall in the game, or the second? Quite tetchy out there.
I believe just the second, but
second.
I'm sure someone could correct me if I'm wrong.
Interestingly as well, the last time these teams met, there was also technicals called.
Shout out to Stu, the man that keeps this stream alive each week. He's saying that in the venue there was a warning to both teams, but that is just our second of the night. And so Pride extend their lead to 2 points. Modron J, perfect night from the charity strike. 8 from 8 on the free throw line.
Break.
Leonard looking to drive and cut this lead down. Breen puts up the 3, but that just rolls out. And Pride looking to come the other way in transition.
Here comes Pride.
Rose Harvey with the fake and couldn't get the shot off in time before her third step. And so a travel called on Rose Harvey.
Everybody watching will know that now, Rory. Thanks to you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Shan Phillips guarding Kennedy Leonard. Lavinier with it at the top. Good ball movement. Leonard now driving. Good switch from Shan and Ella there to limit this Lions offense. Leonard has to force up a shot with 4 seconds left, and she gets that one to go. So the lead stays at 2. Elise Tweedy with it at the top now. Swings to Harvey. Harvey finds Maud in the corner, and Maud with a long 2.
Another big swap.
Great night of shooting for Maud Rongier as she comes up with a steal on the other end. And so it will be a jump ball. But the possession arrow will stay with the Lions. Shot clock at 14. Substitution for the Lions. Zumier comes back into the ball game for the visitors. Leonard with the off-balance 3, can't get that one to go, and so it'll be out of bounds. One we didn't touch on at halftime, if it touches the top or the back of the basket, out of bounds. Just 1 minute left in the third quarter. Pride with their biggest lead of the game.
There goes Maud.
Rongier with another 2. What a night from Maud Rongier. 25 points. And
you do not want her to be open. Or even...
No. Lavinier makes the contested shot over Tweedy. Shan Phillips backing down on Leonard, and foul from Lavinier as she looks to help. Apologies, I think that one was actually...
Yeah.
Was it on Lavinier? Yeah?
I didn't quite catch it. Apologies.
Yeah, it's going to be called on Lavinier as she looked to help Leonard in the post. And so Shan Phillips will shoot 2 from the line and makes her first. Leonard brings the ball up the floor. Again, this dribble handoff motion at the top for the Lions, which worked well for them in the first half. Leonard puts up a shot, no good, and Pride come with it in transition. Maud Rongier just losing the handles ever so slightly and steps out of bounds, and so it'll be Lions ball with 0.8 on the clock. Pride will put on some pressure so they don't get a good look on the buzzer. And so into the fourth quarter, Caledonia Pride leading the London Lions 72-66 with just 10 minutes to play in this one. Rona, who's been the kind of key standout for you in this one for the Pride?
I mean, you've got to look at Maud, don't you? She is just shooting the lights out at the moment. She seems to be getting herself everywhere, and I tend to find, she's hustling hard and working well in defence, and that's generating her offence. And then in turn, she's scoring well in offence. So you're obviously, you get that extra motivation, that extra rush of adrenaline, and that you can see that's really working for them. And again, Shan, she's drawn about 7 fouls so far, and she's going to line, she's scoring them. So I'd say those are the 2 key takeaways, because I mean, they started the third a little bit shaky. They got turned over a few times again at the top of the key, but they really settled themselves back down, and they've turned those scores and stops around. So impressive quarter there from Pride.
Yeah, definitely. And Pride really sharing the basketball in this one. Interestingly enough, they've had 19 assists already in the game with 10 minutes left to play. Whereas last time out playing against Manchester, they only had 16 assists total for the game. So great job of finding the open player for the basket.
Yeah, I think like you had highlighted at the beginning, again, Ella's got, her 16 points. When you've got 3 players posting plus 15 points, that makes you pretty difficult to guard.
Yeah, no surprises again. Sham Phillips, 15 points, 8 rebounds. You could probably, if you were a gambling individual, then you could probably put money on her coming up with a double-double here again. Just 2 rebounds to get it over the line tonight. Ball's tipped out of bounds from Leonard on the inbounds pass, and ball will stay in Pride's hands.
I think we're just starting the clock.
Shot clock goes to 23. There's Harvey with the ball now for the Pride. Finds the cutting Modron J. Puts up jump shot on Breen. Can't get it to go this time. Leonard comes down the floor. Finds Zumye underneath the basket open. Can't get that to go. Good pressure from Taryn Cummins on that. Cummins with it now. Swings to Phillips. Elise Tweedy on the dribble handoff to Harvey. Harvey can't get an open look, and so Modron J will put one up at the end of the shot clock, just short. Leonard with it now. Kicks to Umye. Umye with the layup that time, and she's going to be called for a technical. She felt she was fouled as she went up. And so a technical foul on Stephanie Umye. And that'll put her onto her 4th foul of the game.
Maybe I was just seen into the future when I called it as 3 T's earlier.
Cummings with it. Passes to Eva Kerr. And so the ball's now with Modron J. She dumps it down into Kerr with the mismatch and gets the layup to go. 6-point lead for the Pride. The joint highest lead of this game. But Garyanova with a nice finish there for the Lions. Rose Harvey picks up her dribble, finds Modron J. Keep this possession alive. Rongier on the backdoor cut. Can't get that look to go, but Sham Phillips comes up with a rebound. She can't get the putback to go, but comes up with a steal underneath the basket. Again, another miss around the rim. Pride just can't get it to go. Plenty of opportunities for the putback. And a good finish from the Lions in the open floor from Kennedy Leonard.
That was really unfortunate and around the basket there.
Yeah, Pride had a couple of good looks. Did a good job of crashing the offensive board. Couldn't get the all-important points to show for it. Turnover there, and it's going to be Lions basketball with just under 8 minutes of play left in this one. Gorinova bring the ball up now for the Lions. I believe there was a foul called there on one of the Pride players. I didn't quite catch who it was on. It's going to be called on Ella Docherty. Leonard with it at the top. Ball screen, a hard hedge from Story, and I think she's called for the foul.
I'll put her on 5, unfortunately.
Yeah, and so
yeah, I think the refs are going to be tight. The girls have got to be wary of that.
Yeah, and so Pollyanna will sit the rest of this one, fouling out with just 7.5 left. Pride another hard hedge on the ball screen. Managed to get a contested look underneath, and so they come up with the ball. Sham Phillips driving to the hoop and finishes over Kennedy Leonard. Ella Docherty with another foul, and that will be her third. And she stops the Lions in transition. Timeout called. It's going to be a Pride timeout, and I think just a chance to settle the nerves a bit. Back-to-back foul calls kind of unsettling this Pride defense, and so they will have a chance to talk things over with just under 7 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Leonard inbounds to Umye. Another ball screen action at the top for Leonard. Kicks to Janae, who popped off of that ball screen but can't get the long three to go. Maud Rongier comes up with the rebound. Sham Phillips driving now, finds Jenna Beattie open on the perimeter. She looks to go inside. Maud Rongier with it. Can't get the jumper to fall that time. And so the Lions come back down in possession. Breen with a very deep three. Can't get it to go. But Umye with the rebound. Short jumper, just short. And Ella Docherty coming up the other end. A great finish from Ella on her preferred left hand. And Pride with the lead back at 6. Sham Phillips guarding Leonard. The switch. Jenna Beattie on the ball screen. Janae driving.
A tough drive to the hoop there.
Yeah. Manages to get the finish under contact from Eva Kerr, and leads cut down to 4. Sham Phillips kicks to Rongier. Rongier with it on the near side. Kicks back into Sham Phillips, who finds Jenna Beattie on the perimeter for the 3. Can't get it to go. And so Leonard driving. Can't get it to fall, but called for a foul on Ella Docherty. Her 4th of the night.
Pride have done a really good job of upsetting the London Lions offence. You can see, they're looking for several different things to get them to work. And none seem to really be quite going for them at the moment.
Shan Phillips with a hesitation, drives, good step through. Can't get it to fall. Pride just struggling to find a basket in this last minute and a half. And Gorianova with a good finish. She Euro stepped her way through and finishes at the hoop to bring this back to a 1-point ball game. Ella Docherty though with a quick response. Yeah, left-handed floater goes in. Umye underneath the basket, guarded by Kerr. Has to kick out to Janae. Janae with a long pass out to Leonard at the top. Swung to Gorianova, who puts up the three, but a long rebound brought down by Umye. Finds Breen for the open two, but no good.
Both teams just looking a bit tight.
Phillips drives, can't get it to go, and Shan just struggling to find the bottom of the basket, getting some good looks. And so timeout London with just over 4 minutes to play as the Pride lead by 3 points in this one.
Yeah, I know we've had quite a lot of fouls, we've had quite a few techs. It's been a great game of basketball so far to watch. Pride stuck with them, they've pushed out into lead lines, now trying to claw their way back in, for want of a better word. But I think, both teams looking to take care of the ball and just finishing those easy looks in and around the basket, the things that earlier on in the game were falling for both teams. Maybe just playing a bit tight now, a bit nervous. Again, I thought it's just going to come down to who can put the ball in the basket more times than the other team.
And so the 5 on the floor for the Pride with just over 4 minutes to play. Ella Docherty, Shan Phillips, Maud Rongier, Sophie Loughran and Jenna Beattie.
Lions will be looking for a score out of this timeout.
Ball swung to Breen and she's closely guarded by Phillips, but gets that heavily contested shot to go in. So back to 1. Ella Docherty looks to answer quickly, but can't get it. Just lips out. Kennedy Leonard with a great dump down into Umye, and she gets the and one opportunity to go. So she'll go to the line to convert the 3-point play. And so the Lions lead for the first time in the fourth quarter. And so the Lions lead by 2 with just under 4 minutes of play. Jenna Beattie with it. Pass is tipped off by Gorianova. She goes to the hoop. Gets that one to drop. And so a quick timeout called by the Pride. Just looking to settle things.
And we've swung back again. Like we say, it's all about momentum, it's about waves. If anyone's been watching March Madness, although, it's concluded now, but how many games were won on the buzzer? How many games were the teams down 10, 12 points and come back to win it? It makes for exciting viewing, that's for sure.
Yeah, as a neutral, this would be a fantastic game to watch, a close one, and it will no doubt come down to the wire. Both teams with 3 players in double digits, and this one. And the leader for Pride, Maud Rongier, with 25 points. Answered with Kennedy Leonard for the Lions, also on 25. A great contest in this one. Just under 3.5 minutes left. BT with it, hands off to Docherty. And BT will now set the screen for Docherty as Maud Rongier comes up with it. Hesitation, drives left, gets the layup to drop, and that's a big basket for the Pride as they look to get back and get their noses in front. Horns action from the Lions. They opt to go to the corner. Leonard waves Janae through, but finds the rolling Umye, who just can't get that one to fall. Loughran just forced the pass ever so slightly, and Lions get a hand to it. Shan Phillips swings to Docherty. Kicked out to Loughran. Ella Docherty with the floater, can't get it to drop, and so the Pride will have another offense. Shot clock at 9. Maud Rongier with the long 2. Can't get that one to go. Great hustle from Maud Rongier to get back and get a hand to it, but she's called for the foul on the arm. And
she is everywhere Lions, at the moment.
Yeah. Janae misses her first.
It's always a good foul to give if they miss it.
And second, no good as well, and so Pride will have an opportunity to tie up the game. Maud Rongier coming off the ball screen from Jenna Beattie. Leonard does a great job of getting a hand to it, but Loughran driving in, can't get that look. And so out of bounds, Lions ball.
You know, both teams are getting good looks, it's just not falling.
Pride really need to get a stop here. Again, we see this dribble handoff offense from the Lions as they look to go inside to Umye, and she gets that one to go. And so a 4-point lead for London. Pride patient with it. Need to get a good look here.
Really crowding that ball.
Swung to Rose Harvey, who drives, looks to go up and under her, gets it to go, and the foul. A great play from Rose Harvey. And she'll have an opportunity to put this back to a 1-point game. A great finish from the young Scotsman.
Again, instant impact off the bench.
Leonard with it, drives, kicks out to Breen. Breen with the 3. Long on that attempt, but Umye comes up with a long rebound and gets the put back. And so back to a 3-point game with just under a minute left, and Pride need a shot here. And Rose Harvey with it off of that great and one. Pass is picked off by Gorinova, and London coming back the other way. Gorinova looks to save it and intercepted from Rose Harvey, who finds Maud Rongier. Can't get that one to go. And so London Lions will slow the ball game down with just 20 seconds left. 19.6 left on the clock. A 3-point lead for the Lions. And Leonard will look to make this a 2-possession game. And she does.
Been good from the line tonight.
And goes 2 for 2. And so timeout Pride. And so Pride will have an opportunity to draw up a play and look to get a good look and cut down this 5-second lead. And then if they get a score, they'll look to foul early and try and keep as much time on that clock to give them an opportunity to win this ball game.
Yeah, they did so well clawing their way back into it. You think, get a quick shot in here. They've got, Rose, Maud, several of them could come on and, score that 3 for them. They're also great at crashing those offensive boards. Lions are going to want to be just, looking to secure the ball, getting up and probably trying to draw the foul, getting into Leonard's hands. So on this occasion, they have chosen to advance it up the court, probably trying to waste as little time as possible.
Ella Docherty puts up the 3, and that's a huge shot from Ella. A great shot from Ella. She's had a fantastic night, and so she will go to 23 points for the night, but more importantly, will give her team an opportunity in this tight game. And so Lions call a timeout on the floor.
I'm sure that's the play they meant to run.
Yeah, Ella, great shot, heavily contested from so deep, but that's a massive shot for the young Scotsman and cuts the lead down to 2 with just 11 seconds left. And so Lions will look to get the ball in and run this clock.
I assume they're going to try and stay away from getting the fouls, or maybe try and dribble away from them trying to foul them. But I'm assuming they're going to want it maybe in Leonard's hands. She's shot quite a few now from the free throw line recently, scored them. This is when it's really going to come down to who's got the nerve to step up to the free throw line and ice them.
Yeah, the Lions have Leonard 84% from the line, Umye 80%, and Breen 100% on the floor. The other two have not been to the free throw line tonight, and so the Pride will be looking to try and get it in the Goranova or Janae's hands to foul.
Or turn them over. Sure, if they see something, they might step out.
And the ball goes into Breen's hands, and a foul called on Shan Phillips. And so 9.4 seconds left on the clock. Plenty of time to get something drawn up.
Definitely. Going to have to look to knock them both down. Or if she misses the second, Pride are going to have something up their sleeve. Know what to do.
She makes the first, and so 3-point lead with 9.4 left. And the second, and so Pride looking to run the ball, get a quick score, and they do. And so back to a 2-point lead. And a foul before the ball was in.
Mm-hmm.
And so it'll be an intentional foul. And an unsportsmanlike as the intentional foul from the Pride there. And so that will no doubt be the end of the ball game in this one. Pride running London so very close. A great game. Some huge shots from Maud and Ella Docherty to keep them in this one to the very end, as Kennedy Leonard knocks down her first. Pride must try and get a steal here. Ball's inbounded to Breen. She dribbles away from the contact.
Yep.
She'll go to the line
Trying to
with
waste the clock.
1.1. Yeah. Did a good job of catching it and getting away from the chasing Shan Phillips.
No. Be her fifth. You have to say as well, they've shot well from the free throw line, Lions. It's not the easiest thing to do.
Yeah, and when it mattered most as well, Breen knocking down the all-important free throws. She goes to the line again. And so the end of the basketball game in this one, the London Lions just easing it out in the fourth quarter to a 96-90 win.
Yeah. And what did you make of that game there, Rory? I mean, feels like another one that we've been left on the edge of our seats.
Yeah, I think, another great game from Pride, running a top team very, very close. I think they can, hold their heads high with how they competed in that one. Obviously, having gone to London, visibly the team weren't happy with how they played down there. And so, as we kind of mentioned, this is a great team performance. They've had several players in double digits. Maud Rongier with 27 points tonight, Ella Docherty 25. Just, a tough one. I think it'll be a tough one for the team to swallow. Having run Manchester so close recently, and we thought, they just didn't manage to edge out in front in that one. Did edge out in front in the fourth quarter, but, credit to London, they hit some big shots when it mattered. And as you mentioned, got to the free throw line and shot well from the free throw line in the end of the game. Rona, who's your player of the game for tonight's matchup?
I mean, Ella Docherty, obviously, we've mentioned, and Maud, they were outstanding for Pride, but I have to say, for London, Kennedy Leonard, coming out, doing her scoring, she's obviously missing quite a few of what would usually be our key teammates or starting fivers, and she's come out and really saddled, I think, a lot of that, and, she was held to, for her, you say held to, but 7 assists tonight for someone like her, she probably would usually have more of an assistant role as opposed to having to go out and score, but again, coming down the floor, she was controlling it. We talk about the Pride pressure, and she just seemed to absorb that. And to me, that's what makes a great player, is just the ability to do what your team needs and when they need it. I think London, they know they've been ran tough. They know they've maybe come up depleted for whatever reasons. Maybe if there was ways they could add other players, maybe they wish they had now. But, Pride went out there. It can be so easy to be like, okay, they're missing some players, but you don't actually take advantage of that. They came out, they definitely took advantage of that tonight. They looked hungry. They're playing well as a team. So plenty of positives for them to take into the next game.
Yeah, definitely. And we mentioned that the coaching staff at Pride were looking to limit London's fast break points. I think Pride did a great job of that in the first half and especially in the third quarter. But then again in the fourth quarter, London got some great looks underneath the basket in Umye. And as you mentioned, Leonard kind of put her team on her back a little bit and came up big when it mattered. Just a tough one for Pride. You just feel so many of these games have been so close. It's just we're itching to see them get that third win this season. But another great game from the girls again tonight. Rona, the next game for the Pride is on the road to Sevenoaks, and they'll go on the road this weekend for that one. How do you feel they'll bounce back from obviously this game and look to kick on and try and get a couple more wins under their belt?
I think, yeah, it'll be different dynamic again. They've got the bus journey, who's travelling, how they recover from this game. It's going to be another physical matchup. I was watching a bit of the Suns game earlier on today. You know, they've got some outstanding players in Tiani Clark and Kat Carr. That in itself will present a whole different new set of problems. But, you know, that's the great thing about sport. Sometimes it's going to be your game, sometimes it's not. You know, you're going to have different roles to adapt to. And I think, you know, the coaches will have them well prepped. They're going to go down there. I'm sure it'll be a great game and, you know, it'll be good to watch.
Yeah, and then of course we welcome Cardiff Met Archers back to the Crags next week. I'll say Robin Lewis coming back to play against the Pride, which will be a key matchup for Caledonia in that one. But again, thanks to everyone who's tuned in to tonight's game, and we look forward to welcoming you back soon for more WBBL Championship action.